utterly failing at Bang-O-Nomics with a £1,000 Mondeo, I have gone to the other end of the spectrum in terms of quality, and I've just bought a manual C250 Mercedes W204 Estate. If you're looking to buy a premium German car that isn't an Audi, there are two camps you tend to fall into, and I always tended to go to the BMW in the past. And the old slightly iffy quality of 90s, noughties Mercedes kind of put me off these. I never even gave them a second thought in the past. However, taking apart my W123, even though it doesn't work, just feeling the quality of the fixtures and fittings and how well the screws go in, and after 15 years in a damp barn they still just come out no problem at all, it made me think maybe looking at these again would not be a bad idea. And so I did. This is a 2010 car which had only 72,000 miles on it when I found it. It's a C250 Sport, which means the 2.1 litre 4-cylinder diesel makes 201 horsepower. It's also the AMG Sport line, so you get AMG wheels, 15mm low suspension, and the interesting Sport Pack on the bodywork. There are two things you notice straight away getting into this car. First of all, the quality. You can just feel it in everything you touch. Every tactile piece that you put your hand on feels like a really well made item. Secondly, this isn't an automatic. It's a proper gearbox. And this also feels really good. It feels like it's a proper lump of metal, but I think it's just plastic with a metally coating, but it feels like a big lump of metal in your hand. The steering wheel, really grippy and solid leather. Every button you touch, every tactile surface, it's a nice feeling button. The heater controls are this lovely kind of diamond cut effect, well it ain't plastic really, but it looks and feels good. There's so many cubby holes and everything just moves nicely. There's a hidden one here. Even a great big glove box which is useful for cramming with junk. You see that? This thing even has air conditioning in the glove box. That's kind of useful. No, actually it really is quite useful. Typically Mercedes, the trim level is sort of basic but sort of good. You have to spec pretty much everything. When you get automatic headlights, auto wipers as standard, and dual zone climate on this level, but heated seats are an extra. If I wanted whatever these three blanked off buttons did, they'd be an extra. You can see on the outside of the door handle there's a black button which would probably be for some kind of keyless entry system. I haven't got that, I've got a blacked off button. So yeah, you do need to go and make sure you tick all the boxes buying one of these things. And utterly baffling is this array of buttons up here for the lights and the alarm and the boot, which do many things which I'm still getting my head around. Being a car from 2010, you do have plenty of plugs. There's one here, there's one in the glove box. There isn't one on the back of this console, which I feel like there should be. I will have to add one at some point. But there's no USBs anywhere, so I've had to stick an adapter in the glove box for my elegant iPhone cable. Mercedes have thought of many things with this car. They're very thorough engineers. If you're getting glare off the sun on the radio screen or the nav screen, you can adjust the angle to try and get rid of the glare. The nav is pretty solid. It doesn't get lost easily. But it's only the first 4 characters of a postcode to enter, so you're kind of getting close to where you want to go. And also, to update it, you've got to buy a CD from Mercedes, which is horrifically expensive. Or, if you want to risk £15 on eBay, you can try it. You might brick the entire system, but you can try it. This is a lovely piece of equipment. This little dial matches all the other dials on the dashboard, and these little chrome bits of stainlessy chrome trim also match. However, if I wanted to upgrade this to a DAB system, I need to either buy some little gubbins to go in the back of the dashboard, not quite sure how good that would be, or take this out and lose the screen and have, I don't know, a little place for chocolate bars up there. So I'll have to work on that. Other plans for this car: Mercedes now do a Mercedes Me dongle you can plug into the ODB port, so I can keep track of the car on my phone. I'll give that a go soon. And this car didn't get cruise control, so I'm going to look at adding that. Apparently you just need to change this stalk and do some software upgrades. Let's find out in the near future. And as apparently it's going to be the worst winter ever, apart from last winter, which is also the worst winter ever, I'm going to get some snow tyres on this thing pretty soon as well. Standard on these cars, although I hate it, is the electric boot tailgate thingy. It's so slow, just adds weight, slows you down in the car park. Can't stand these things. It's annoying, but you can do it with the key, which I suppose is useful. It's a good size. It's not as massive as the Mondeo, but at least it comes with one of them and one of them. Well, stat fans, this big lump here is a 4-cylinder turbo diesel, 2.1 litres, making 201 horsepower and 500 newton meters of torque apparently. That sounds like a lot. And of course, it's rear-wheel drive. The W204 shaped Mercedes C-Class was launched in 2007 and ran for 7 years till 2014. It was replaced logically by the W205, which is a very similar car but more swoopy. In the 250 guys we have here, the blue efficiency I should say, 0 to 60 is 7.1 seconds at a maximum speed of 148 miles an hour, and it's got a claimed 55 mpg. Now, over the last, I've done about 2,000 miles in this car so far. The average has peaked at around 52, but generally it hovers about 49, 50, which is pretty respectable, to be fair. I don't know the figures to hand, but they made masses of these. This was a real sales hit for Mercedes. But sitting in one, it's easy to see why. The seats are comfortable, the driving position is good, it's practical, economical, looks good on the drive. As you walk away from it, you do glance back and think, I like that. Look, while I'm driving sensibly, here's another W204 going straight past me. That one's only 220 though, we could have that one. And here is the chief rival of the W204. 3 Series. Now there are a few idiosyncrasies of driving a manual Mercedes C-Class. I think about 80% of Mercedes sold worldwide are automatics. I will never buy an automatic willingly unless I absolutely have to, and that day is some way off still. However, I wanted a manual car. I was auto tradering for a manual diesel, and it does feel a bit like Mercedes built the manual version because they absolutely had to. Someone said you've got to build it, and they begrudgingly went into the shed and they found an old manual gearbox and they go, oh alright, then we'll put this on in it. And it's kind of notchy going from the front to back. It's got a bit of a pull to it, which makes a fast getaway kind of hard. So off we go. First gear, out, clonk. Second gear, thinking not so bad. But fourth gear's a little bit notchy again. I'm going to change the oil in this box. That might change things up a bit. I don't know. Hopefully that'll lubricate it as it should do. Maybe that'll make things feel better. I hope so. And the other thing, which is way more annoying than that, is that they've insisted with the weird foot-operated parking brake thing that you get in the automatic version. It's very annoying. So you come to a stop, you put the car in neutral, then you can put your foot on the parking brake, then you can go back to neutral again, have to choose a gear, and then you can pull the handbrake off with the handle on the other side of the steering wheel. It's really not very intuitive and really is quite hard to use. So it's designed to work with an automatic and probably never be used at all, as most people would also just leave it and park. However, on the plus side, is when you start driving this car, you really do appreciate the quality of a Mercedes. That everything feels really, really well screwed together in a way that the Ford probably didn't do when it was new, let's be honest. It doesn't creak, it doesn't rattle, apart from the powerful mirror, which does make a funny sound as it winds in. Everything feels really, really, I'm going to use the phrase now, this is my Alfa Romeo passion thing going on here. It's hewn from granite or something. It just feels very, very solid indeed. Now this is being a C250. It's got slightly more power than the cooking 220s. So 0 to 60 time is pretty good. But it doesn't feel like you want to thrash it. It will go fast. If you put your foot down, it will really fly. But it just doesn't have the attitude that makes you think this car wants to be driven fast right now. It wants to be driven responsibly. I always kind of shied away from Mercedes in the past because I thought maybe they were too grown up. Perhaps I was actually right. Who knew? Makes a change if it was. everyday practical family car, it's very hard to beat a W204. There are so many cubby holes around the car. It's got nice big door bins, you've got a great big properly open thing here to put stuff into. You've got 2 cup holders here, although these 2 are curious. The front one is slightly too large and a bit sloppy. The one at the back is just a little bit too tight and kind of cracks your cup in when you push it in there. There are 2 more in the fold down armrest in the back, which also has a great big cupboardy thing for your kids' toys or whatever else you want to stick in there, which is very handy indeed. There's a decent amount of legroom in the back, not bad legroom in the front. Electric reclining uppy downy seats here, just manual forwardy backwardy. Either to save weight or to save cost or to push you into the next stage of options to get the electric forward back version, I don't know. But the seats are very comfortable, they are quite firm, but they're quite supportive as well, so that's a good thing. You can do a very long drive in this car and it really doesn't leave you feeling like you've had enough. You feel like you could go a fair bit further. That said, the first couple of times I drove it, the angle of the accelerator pedal did leave my ankle feeling kind of slightly awkward because it's a bottom hinged accelerator rather than a top hanging one like they often are. But it didn't take long for me to kind of get used to that and not really notice it at all. As far as maintenance goes with this car over the coming years, I don't really foresee any problem. This is as far from Bangonomics as you can get without going for a full-on dealer prepaid service contract. All I'm really going to have to do is just service it every couple of years to keep it running. Although, I do have other plans, obviously. In the next couple of weeks, I will be fitting winter tyres to this car because they're predicting big snow, the worst winter in ever, even though last winter was the worst winter in ever. I'm quite keen on lowering it, to be honest, on some, I don't know, some different wheels. Keep the 17-inch AMGs that it's wearing right now for the winter tyres and get something maybe a bit bigger, maybe another AMG, maybe something non-Mercedes, I don't know, for the summer tyres. I think these respond very well to a remap at some point in the future once the insurance has come down a bit, because bizarrely, even though my last couple of cars have been 300 horsepower Cupras, which are way quicker than this, the insurance stung me because this is a performance car. Yeah. And the ride in this car is very nice. As he says, crashing through a pothole. It's got a very kind of solid, grown-up, almost mature feel to it. Like I'm a grown-up driving a grown-up car. It does handle pretty well though. You can throw it into a corner and it takes a lot to unstick it. In fact, I haven't unstuck it yet. Being rear-wheel drive, it will throw itself out of a corner quite happily and quite entertainingly, even though, as I said before, it doesn't want you to hoon around. It's a grown-up. It's sensible. If you want to see where we go with this car over the coming months, hit like and subscribe, find the playlist for the W204, and we'll see what else we can say about this thing and the 204 Mercedes marque in general in coming months.